one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3. Finish.
Hey, I tell you what, man. Not only is this about to be a fire-ass episode, man, that motherfucking Gordon Ramsay a different type of animal, man. I just got done watching like probably an hour to Kitchen Nightmares, the clips and shit on YouTube, because I don't sit down and watch full shows. Like, I be trying to watch full shows and shit, but I fast forward a lot of shows and shit, bro. Like, I don't know if I'm the only person who do this. I can't be the only person who do this, because we all out here living the same lives when people really be breaking down the shit they do on an everyday basis. But I done got to the point where I already done told y'all before. First off, how the fuck is y'all day going, yo? How fucking dope was the day? Like, yo, what we get into today? What we get into today? Yo, I used to watch this dude who I thought was pretty funny comedian. None of his jokes is hitting for me now, because his jokes kinda it's just not for me. But that was neither here nor there. I just felt like mentioning it. But yo, this dude Gordon Ramsay's an animal, bro. I'm looking at this motherfucker in these different disgusting ass kitchens, touching mold with his hands, like touching God knows what substances with his hands and shit, yo. I'm watching this man sniff rotten products and shit. Like, if you ever been around rotten chicken or rotten beef, any type of rotten meat product, especially when it's sitting around out in the open with the blood still on it, son, the smell. Gordon be putting this shit right to his nose, my guy. Now, mind you, I'm just now getting on Gordon Ramsay. Like, I know who he is, but I've never watched a Gordon Ramsay show in my life. Like, this the first time I've ever seen Gordon Ramsay shows. And I'm going to be honest with you. I see how a lot of people show the clips of him yelling and shit like that. But after watching a couple of these shows and watching him, how he act all the way through the shows and shit, I'm going to be honest with you. Gordon Ramsay seemed a bit nicer than than John Taffer. Like, the dude on Bar Rescues. Like, Gordon seemed like a pretty, easy, he don't seem as mean as, the clips make him out to be. But I know the man's a psychopath with what he willing to sniff and touch with no regard, bro. Like, and like, it's crazy. Like, some of these restaurants, bro, got like a dead mouse in some of the refrigerators and shit. And I'm like, yo, are you serious? The worst part about these shows, specifically Kitchen Nightmares and Bar Rescues, bruh, like, never mind how some of these shits look like old rundown restaurants and shit. Like, the restaurant I seen, like, because some of it ain't even that bad to me. Like, some of these restaurants do look like old raggedy ass grandma house restaurants. But I saw a restaurant on the show last night. I cannot remember what it was. It was a black woman running it. She had an accent like she was from London or something. And she said it was a soul food spot. Like, the spot looked nice. Like, it was a little spot. I think it seated 40. You gotta make reservations. The cook was like, he had a child and needed like to find somebody to take care of the child during the days he needed to work and shit like that. Like, that spot looked nice. I like that spot. Like, that's a nice looking spot. A little cramped, but I dig it. Man, some of these other spots, yo, look hideous. Like, why would I want to sit down in this establishment? But the worst parts of these restaurants every fucking time is when you just see how dirty they is, yo. Like, the molded food, uncooked meat beside like vegetables and shit like that. Like, I done seen it all. The shit is disgusting. It's really crazy that they serve people. What's always crazy to me is not even like the food, the rottenness and all that type of shit. It's the people. Because this don't happen without people. Careless people. And I done worked in a restaurant, so I see how careless people can be. And I see how careless your boss can. If you work for a careless boss, just know it's going to be a bad run organization. Because when the boss don't give a fuck, nobody going to give a fuck. If the person at the top could care less, then everybody at the bottom going to care less. That's just how it go. You looking at these restaurants and you looking at how dirty this shit is, like rats, dead mice and dead rats and mold and mushrooms growing out the refrigerator and people using expired products and feeding that to people. Do they have no conscience? Do they have no like what kind of madness is this? Like, how do you serve? Like, true story. So it's a Bojangles in Durham, right? On Hope Valley Road, I think that's the name of the road it is. It's on that strip. And the Bojangles there, it's a great Bojangles. Like, I love that Bojangles. I eat there all the time. One day I went there, and a dude who I had never really seen in there before was managing. And when I got my food, now every time I eat at this Bojangles, you know, it's good food and stuff. And I'm not even the type of person who really complain too much about bad food. I just bite that bullet. Even though I do not support biting the bullet on food that you pay for no more. Like, just growing, like, I just done got to the point where I think it's unacceptable to pay for something and get a atrocious product back, because that's your hard-earned money. You work for that shit. And people always like to say, oh, it's just $5. Oh, it's just $10. Well, for one, some of these fucking meals, especially for people using DoorDash and all these highway robbery fucking food site services, they usually dropping about a cool $20, $30, $40. Not to mention people who feeding families and shit like that dropping far more than people who is just feeding in themselves or like a significant other. Like, you got to understand, this ain't just, these restaurants ain't just serving 1-2 people per order. No, it's some people coming in there ordering huge meals. And you serving them a whole bunch of trash after they giving you hard-earned money. Raw products, bad cooked products, old products, cold products. Like, I do not. And the worst part is when you have to sit and wait and you still don't get it. So to continue the true story I was telling about my Bojangles experience. So I went into this Bojangles one time. Like I said, all the time, every time I eat there, it's a good experience. And I was cool with it, a lot of the dudes in there, because I would go there real late, high as hell. I order the Supreme combo. They give me like 20 more Supremes than I asked for. It was like I was real cool with the people who worked there, but that was like closing, because you know how I go when they throwing away the food and shit like that. They don't want to waste it. So I went there one day during the lunch hours. Now, lunch hours is when the food's supposed to be the best. Like, that lunch hours when they gonna get the most traffic. So that's when the food gonna be getting cooked and flipped, you know, regularly, because they gonna get a lot of foot guests and shit like that. And it's different hours in the restaurants and when you get busy and shit like that. But just this Bojangles usually got busy during the lunch hours and the late night hours. A lot of food places in Durham get busy late at night, especially Cookout. But I ordered a Supreme combo, basically the same shit I order every time. I go out to the cart, and as I open it up, like 4 chicken tenders, it's like burnt and like hard, like they brick hard. Like, you can bang them against the bricks in the ground. You got to break it in half with some force. Like, it's unedible. The fries have no seasoning on it, and they are cold. The rice was the only thing that was made like with any type of care. Everything else in the box should have been thrown out. Like, it should not have been served. So I go back into the Bojangles, bro. Now I'm a little bit heated, because in my mind, this is not like, oh, you got my order wrong, so you know it's cool. This is straight disrespectful that you looked and saw this. Like, because you have to pick this up with your hands. And the reason I was pissed off at this manager specifically is because he is the one who is making the food. Like, I'm looking at everybody else cooking and shit, but he is the one making the order. So he can clearly see the shit he is serving and know to throw it away or something like that. But because people don't want it, like, I understand some people be like, well, they don't want you to wait. No, fuck a wait, bruh. Me getting what I asked for and getting it prepared properly is far more important than how long I might have to wait to have it cooked properly. I always say I will wait for the shit to be cooked properly and right. Just don't be in the kitchen fooling around instead of cooking my food, making the wait longer. That's the problem when you think about waiting. It's not that if you want something cooked fresh, it's like every time people will come to Wendy's and like, yo, I want fresh fries. Listen, even though we might be dropping fresh fries on the regular, sometimes you hit a moment where the fresh fries it's like 4 minutes past freshness. So they still fresh, but they not peak out the fryer fresh. And people won't peak out the fryer fresh. So you gotta tell them, listen, it's gonna be like 3-minute cook on fries. Can you pull forward? You say 5 minutes though, because while you is specifically tending to that order, you gotta keep pumping orders out and shit like that. Because it's busy in the kitchen, especially when you know, Pat. But that's why you try to have people there for every position. But I go back into the thing and I tell the Bojangles and I tell the dude, I'm like, yo, this ain't it. I'm like, this. I was like, yo, why the fuck would you serve me this? And he was like, oh man, don't, calm down, like telling me to calm down and shit. And I'm like, yo, don't tell me to fucking calm down. Why would you want somebody to serve you this? Like, cause to me, it's like I said, it's not about you. Oh, you fucked the order up, bro. You just gave me an unedible food, and I just paid for this, and you took my money and served me this as if it was cool. When this is not acceptable. If this was the other way around and I was serving you the food and you was the one paying for it, this would not be acceptable to you. So I don't understand. And I just wish y'all could have seen the fucking what I was served. Like, it was so far beyond like, well, I try to just eat it. No. It was so far past that. This was food that probably was cooked about 3 hours ago that they just did not throw in the trash can, or that they left in the fryer and just kept dumping other food on top of it. So that's my problem with, to me, restaurants' problems are people. Because when you have a bunch of lazy ass staff that don't like cleaning, I legit worked with a dude one time who said he did not know how to sweep. Like, we asked him, could he sweep? He was like, oh no, I can't do that because I don't know how. What? Like, bruh, you have to get people. And now with everybody trying to hire, I think restaurants killing themselves really for the simple reason they don't pay people properly. And since I done worked in restaurants, I am very confident saying that motherfuckers who work in restaurants should get paid far more than minimum wage. For one, some of y'all got great jobs out there, right? And that's cool. But you probably not serving nowhere near or going through the stress that people who working in fast food restaurants working through on a daily basis. Like, I done seen it. And I see how burnt out some of these motherfuckers in restaurants can be after just like 2 hours of a rush hour. Like, I done seen motherfuckers walk out during rush hours because they couldn't do it no more. I done seen, lazy bosses try to go nuts when the higher ups walk in and try to start going nuts on people, and people walk out because they like, man, nah, I ain't dealing with this. Like, I done seen all type of shit in the restaurant industry for the years I had worked in there. And it wasn't like a long ass time. It was like 3 years, 4 years. Because I did other jobs before that, like moving, warehouses, a lot of manual labor before I got into the cooking business. Because I was a cook every restaurant I went to. And the only restaurants I worked in was Chipotle, because them motherfuckers cut the check early on. Like, the motherfuckers started me off with a great starting pay. And the only reason I went to Wendy's because I had got lazy and I was tired of doing the manual labor shit. And my other job was paying me so good, I was like, I don't really need to maintain 2 jobs, bro. I can really I don't have to maintain 2, like, stress, hardcore jobs. Like, I can have one job where I'm being lazy and I can have another. What's crazy is the harder job ended up becoming the easier job, because the easy job, which was Wendy's, ended up becoming a bunch of bullshit because they couldn't keep people. Anytime you work for a place that keep retaining workers, where they got to keep rehiring and firing and rehiring, and it's not even really firing because people just quitting on you, yeah, that's a problem. And I done seen that in Wendy's. Like, Wendy's easily was the worst. I think Wendy's probably the worst job I ever worked. And a lot of it had to do with not just the people, because it's always the people that make the job bad, I'm telling you. In any situation, it's people. It's not just, it's one thing if you're working in a raggedy ass building and, we have no control over that shit just breaking on it. That's different. But when you're working with trash cans as bosses and shit, like one of my managers, so I went through like 3 GMs while I was there. Not even counting all the temporary GMs they had put in place. Bruh. Like, it was fucking hell. And then the last GM I worked for, bruh, she had ended up quitting, putting in, and the 2 people she brought in to make managers had worked with her before. One of the dudes I was actually cool with, and the female I wasn't, but they ended up dating each other. You never want to work with two fucking managers that dating each other, especially when one of them is power hungry and the other one really just a nonchalant, not say too much type of motherfucker. The motherfucker, he was overworked, which all the shit that happened to him was on him. Like, he let this motherfucker go nuts on him. He let her go crazy, bruh. She talked to people crazy. She was not a leader like she tried to portray herself to be. Like, the shit was crazy, bro. People hated her. And she was dating him, so she knew nothing crazy could happen to her, bro. And then I just watched the shit crumble. And I'm like, man, this is rough. Like, I told myself, I was like, the worst job I thought I had ever worked at was probably, no job I done ever worked at was really just, oh man, I gotta get the fuck up out of here. This is bad. No job I ever worked at was really that bad, got to that point. Because really, I don't be caring, bro. I come to work, do my job, go home. I don't have no passion for none of these jobs I be doing, bro. I just know these is temporary holdovers till I get rich and can do what I love doing on a regular basis, man. You gotta grind doing the shit you hate until you can finally do the shit that you love and make real money doing the shit, or some type of money doing the shit you love. Because listen, I don't come into none of these jobs with a bad attitude and nothing like this. I just come into these shits ready to do the job and get the fuck out. That's it. Dead ass. Like, I can move from these motherfuckers with ease, man. Dead ass. I can go into a job, bro, and not know a single motherfucker's real name the entire time. Just be calling, yeah, what's up, my guy? Big dog. Like, them type of shits get me through a whole day. I'm telling you. This shit is a go, clock in, do the job, clock out. That's where I'm at. Like, people be letting jobs stress them out and shit like that. Not me. And once one job get to the point where I'm like, yeah, this some bullshit, I leave. Go to another one. Like, it's not hard, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro, you can't let these jobs kill you. And I know this started off with us talking about Gordon Ramsay and shit, but I'm just telling you, man, you can't let these jobs bog you down and fuck you over. Because one thing that these jobs will try to do is try to get you, because I see so many people bragging on an everyday basis of how they work like 2, 3, 4 jobs. And I'm pretty sure I had this conversation with y'all before, but I think that's whack when I see people doing that. And I think I'm not even whack as much as I think it's sad. Like, damn. You gotta work that many jobs and flex about it, because for some reason goofballs think that it's cool to brag about working real hard, but you never see nobody bragging about chilling and relaxing. And every time somebody do, you see negative comments like, oh, you lazy, oh, you know what I'm saying? People hating. Like, broke people can't stand looking at rich people flex. Like, and to me, it's not even flexing sometimes. They just post like vacation pics and motherfuckers be mad about it because they gotta go to work the next day. They probably at work looking at the shit. But why do y'all sit around looking at shit like that that's gonna piss y'all off and raise y'all temperature, bro? Like, what's up with it? I don't get that. People be sitting around getting envious of these people, but you still looking at it. Like, very confusing to me. But, hey, that's the life people choose to live. But listen, bro, we got some big shit popping off in the NFL, yo. Devontae fucking Adams is officially a Raider. We just got done talking about the Raiders yesterday, and it's crazy that we talking about them again. The AFC, I don't know why I keep saying NFC. The AFC West done went fucking nuts. They done snapped. I love this. I love seeing teams try to get better at all costs. For one, a quick shout out to Freddie Freeman, who just signed a contract with the Dodgers. He posted that note thanking the real, Atlanta fans who appreciate him for everything he did for the franchise. All the bozos who hate him because he left, that wasn't for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can go suck on one. But shout out to Freddie. Love that my man was loyal to the soil, got that championship, and now he going home to LA to get paid. Love it. Mookie fucking Betts, Cody Bellinger, Max Muncy, AJ Pollock, Frederick fucking Freeman. Are you serious? Trey Turner? Like, bruh, the Dodgers lineup is insane. Then you look at the pitching staff. I'm always going to have faith in one of my favorite pitchers all time, Clayton Kershaw. I believe he's going to come back strong. One of the greatest pitchers to ever do it. You got what's my man's name? Julio Urias, I think, gonna be good. I really do think he need to add another pitch to that arsenal, but another great pitcher. Walker Buehler gonna be a stud. Don't know what's going on with that motherfucker Trevor Bauer, but if he end up coming back and playing, I'm imagining he gonna be the same good pitcher he was before he left. But who knows? Either way, if the Dodgers end up needing to make a move at some point in time throughout the season to bring over another ace or another good pitcher, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to do it, because the Dodgers organization loves winning and they love competing, and they do not like going throughout seasons with nothing to compete for. And that's why I love watching the Dodgers, and that's why I like rooting for the Dodgers. While yes, I am a Phillies fan, I also grew up watching the Dodgers too, so I root for them too. The only reason I root for the Phillies so much harder, like, it's not really that much harder either. The only reason I still claim the Phillies is because I'm not going to stunt. Like, I can name a lot of the dudes on the Phillies back in the day that I used to watch growing up. But for the same can be said for, because my first favorite player in baseball that I was watching was Manny Ramirez. And I know he played for the Indians, and I know he played for Boston. But he played for the Dodgers also for a while when I was coming up. And Clayton Kershaw done been one of my favorite. Clayton Kershaw is actually my second favorite pitcher all the time behind Roy Halladay. But when I was a kid, y'all gotta understand, not even a kid, when I was a teen, like in my early high school years, Clayton Kershaw was the fucking man. Like, you gotta understand, it was two pitchers growing up, and it was a lot of good pitchers like David Price, like great pitchers. David Price, it was a lot of great pitchers I saw growing up, like Juan Santana on the Mets, Tim Lincecum stud. But the two greatest pitchers, like, that most of the people who I grew up like was like, yeah, those are the two guys. Well, really it was three. It was at least, and it's not even necessarily that they was the greatest. These was just the ones that people love the most. And you could say four, because Tim Lincecum was a big deal. But Roy Halladay was recognized for a while when I was coming up as the greatest pitcher in the game, and Roy Halladay is my favorite pitcher all time. CC Sabathia, one of my favorite pitchers of all time, was CC with the Yankees, him and Derek Jeter with the Yankees, with all those other dudes. Come on now. And this is not including Mariano Rivera. Mariano Rivera has obviously been regarded as the greatest closer of all time since I done been watching baseball. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like starting aces. But the other one was Clayton Kershaw. Like, Clayton Kershaw was that fucking guy when I was, and it's crazy. All these dudes is lefties except for Roy Halladay. He was a righty. CC Sabathia was a lefty. Clayton was a lefty, and Tim Lincecum. I think Tim Lincecum was a righty. Yeah, Tim was a righty. Those four motherfuckers. And personally for me, Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, because they played for the Phillies. And I was also a huge fan of, what's my man's name? Juan Santana for the Mets, because we had to play against them motherfuckers so much. I fuck with Juan Santana. I like Juan Santana, but I'm happy Frederick Freeman getting paid. This is a crazy Dodgers lineup, yo. I wish Max Scherzer had stayed, but when you get in that type of bread, get your money, my guy. I'm never going to be mad at an athlete for going and getting bread, bro. Never going to be mad at that. So, happy about that. Frederick Freeman, to me, just brings and I'm not the biggest baseball, I can't, my knowledge of baseball is great, but it ain't that great. Like, it's not what, some baseball YouTubers and, I'm just saying off of what I see from Frederick Freeman. He was an MVP 2 years ago. I still think he is stud. Like, listen, you speaking to a dude who have to watch Frederick Freeman dominate the Phillies on a regular basis, bro. That's who you talking to. I had to watch Frederick Freeman dominate us so much so that I became a Frederick Freeman fan, bro. I like Frederick Freeman more than every fucking player on the Phillies right now, not named Bryce Harper or Zach Wheeler. And Gene Segura. I love Gene Segura. That's my guy. But with that being said, I'm just happy for Frederick Freeman and my guy Mookie Betts. Them boys about to get another one. Mookie got 2 of them already. And Mookie gonna come back healthy this year and dominate. He got married over the off season. I know my man is healthy, ready to dominate. He didn't like how he went out in the offseason. I mean, in the postseason last year, bro. He wasn't happy about it. I remember the runners in scoring position, and then I think Buddy struck out Mastic for the Braves. I think struck out like 3 dudes in a row, and one of them was Mookie. Imagine him having Frederick fucking Freeman hitting behind him now. Bruh, to me, baseball fans that's not Dodger fans better pray that Cody Bellinger is not any semblance of the old MVP Cody Bellinger before whatever the fuck happened to my man's last year happened. Alright? Because if Cody Bellinger is any semblance of the old Belly, which, my man's, grow your hair out. Grow the hair back out. Like, I done chopped my shit off too, but I'm letting my shit grow back out too. Like, I like the hairstyle that I got right now, but after like a couple days, it's not nothing about like not liking it. I love it. It's the first time my hair done been this short in a while. My whole Mexican side came out of me with this new look. But I'm definitely going to let this shit grow out real long again. It was just really time, because my hair hadn't been short since 2012. From 2012 till a week ago, my hair had been extremely long. I had locks that went past my ass. And then I went from locks to a long ass nappy afro that you could legitimately like braid it up, and I would have had a crazy length on the braids. And then I shaved that shit down and was like, you know what, let's start a little bit fresh. You know? Speaking of fresh, that's what my motherfucking man's Davante Adams wanted to do. He wanted to start fresh. And I'm happy that Davante Adams, like, this is one of the greatest parts of my day today was when I read that Davante Adams was traded to the Raiders. Not because I love Derek Carr so much, but because it showed, bruh, when I read that my man's was traded, all I heard was, when I read it was, Davante Adams did not allow his relationship with Aaron Rodgers cost him bread. That's all I read. Because so many times you see these players take pay cuts and shit like that. Money they'll never be able to get back. Taking pay cuts to play with dudes and this and that. And listen, I understand a brotherhood. I understand a team. Listen, I done played sports my whole life. I done played with great teams and shit like that. Obviously not on this level, but I done played. You know what I'm talking about. You done played in great locker rooms and shit like that. And obviously we wasn't getting paid at these early levels. But listen, you're not telling me that you turning down, 10 million more at a different place to play in one place. That's not happening. That's why I'm not mad at fucking Zadarius Smith for what he just did. I am a Baltimore Raven fan, been a Baltimore Raven fan my whole life. I keep telling y'all that if Lamar leave, I'll leave too, but that ain't happened yet, so we ain't even got to address that. But listen, I am not mad at Zadarius Smith for what he just did. It's a lot of people who gonna be mad, because last night we was talking about Zadarius Smith signing with the Ravens. Today we talking about he is not signing with the Ravens. Actually, he is not going to sign that deal. And when I read the contract, like when I read the numbers that they had put out, I said to myself, why would Zadarius sign for this little bit of money? Like, that's legitimately what I thought to myself. Like, did that season of him being hurt kill his like money that bad? Like, he just was a Pro Bowler 2 years before that. He got hurt this year. That don't mean he ain't gonna be a Pro Bowler or a pro, all pro level pass rusher again. Like, to me, Zadarius is in his prime right now. He got hurt, so what? He gonna come back and be healthy and dominate. When I saw the contract that Baltimore gave him, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, I'm happy we got him, and I'm impressed that EDC was able to get that. But ultimately, I said to myself, man, that's tough. Like, it's going to be hard to continue to sell players on, man, if you can come here, you can win a championship. We're not going to pay you the highest amount of money, but we sure will give you a chance to win a championship and put you in a great culture. Man, I don't care about that, bro. I'm trying to make as much money as I can and possibly play for a winning organization. If I have to sacrifice one of them two, in football, I'm sacrificing playing for the winning organization. Could care less. If you are a top flight player in football, like, example, It's very rare that you get to go to a situation where you can win and get paid. Freddie Freeman just went to a situation where he can win and he got paid in LA. Now I understand people gonna be like, oh, well, the taxes in LA. I don't care about that. I'm just talking about what the contract, the numbers and shit. He got paid and he went to the fucking a winning organization. Yeah, that don't happen a lot. A lot of times you see people do what Chris Bryant did. Get paid, go to a trash can as an organization. Hey, Zadarius Smith was able to get paid with the Packers and play for a winning organization. I don't know what. To me personally, I thought that there was a payday and a winning organization out there to offer Zadarius a contract rather than him taking this. Because to me, I mean, just looking at the contract, to me, the shit looked way too friendly of a deal. Like, and I want Zadarius back too because we need a pass rusher, a legitimate pass rusher. What I don't want is Zadarius hoeing himself for less money than he could have made elsewhere. Now, unless he just want to win, because some people get to the point in their career where they make so much money and they still play at a high level that they want to win. That now all they're concerned about is playing for a winning organization. Zadarius Smith has not made as much money as he can possibly make yet. Like, I really believe if Zadarius did not agree to that contract with Baltimore verbally, it could have been him signing that contract with the Raiders. Could have been possibly him signing that contract with the Bills. Like, after seeing what Vaughn got paid, my man said, hold the fuck up, let me go do some, let me see what else I got out there. And to me, that's nothing wrong with that. Like, if the Ravens organization mad at him about that, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. Y'all legit tried to hold a man, and he was gonna agree to it at first. He got to sit back, look it over again, and realize, fuck no, I can make way more elsewhere. And I'm all for that. Yo, y'all gotta stop hating on people. Y'all do not stay at jobs that pay y'all less and turn down higher paying positions, bruh. That does not happen in everyday life. So stop trying to get athletes to do the same shit. Stop trying to project on athletes and try to expect them to do shit. It's like I said before, bro. It's like my ex-girlfriend when she told me, like, yo, I expect you to be Superman. I expect you to be perfect. You supposed to be the perfect person. Yo, y'all expecting these motherfuckers to be unrealistically perfect, bro. Yeah, just turn down taking more money and stay with us because we love you. That's what Brave fans basically doing right now to Frederick Freeman. Like, oh, we don't love you because you took more money to go play elsewhere. And we wanted you to play here and take less money. Because the money don't affect us in no way, no shape, form, or fashion. But our viewership is what matters. Our entertainment is what matters. Like, bro, y'all sound like fucking dumbasses, bro. Like, dead ass. These athletes need to make as much fucking money as they can possibly make, especially when you in football and playing the physical sport that they have to play. And when you is Zadarius Smith, whose job is equally as hard because you usually having to run into a 300+ pound man every play to try to get to the quarterback. Yeah, my mans, make as much fucking money as possible. Make as much fucking money as possible. There's no way I'm mad at Zadarius Smith. And you're going to have people who like, oh, well, it was an agreement. He had a verbal agreement. A man's word is everything. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You go accept the contract right now to work for a company and have another company offer you 10, 15, 20 million more. And let's see what you do. Let's see if you stay there and honor that contract, or if you say, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to take that deal over there, actually. Especially if you haven't even signed the contract yet. Come on now. Y'all gotta stop it with this, man. Teams do this all the time. I'm not going to let Raven fans try to turn Zadarius Smith into some bad guy. I'm not going to do that. That man got to make the most money for him and his family. Not for you and your family and you and your viewership and all that bullshit. But it was a beautiful day. Because not only, now you know Devontae Adams and Derek Carr were roommates and teammates in college. So they best friends, I believe. I had heard the rumors a couple years ago about him being traded to Oakland when they was possibly leaving in free agency to go to play with Derek Carr. I didn't know if it was possible. But boy, Derek Carr, after the shit that happened last year with the Raiders, Derek Carr deserved all this greatness that's coming his way. All this greatness that's coming the Raiders' way, Derek Carr deserved it. And shout out to the GM. Listen, the only thing about the Raiders I do not like, the head coach. But you know, I'm going to channel my inner Derek Carr in the spirit of Derek Carr. You know, everybody deserves forgiveness and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give Josh McDaniels a shot. I'm going to give him a chance. Even though I do not think he deserves a head coaching job over Eric Bieniemy or some of these other African-American head coaches, I'm going to give Josh McDaniels a shot. All right? I want to see what he can do with this team. Because it's, for one, if you fail when you throwing it to Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, and you have fucking Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs in the backfield, come on, man. If you can't win with this, and you now have two legitimate pass rushers that can cause hell for teams, the AFC West is about to be a fuck. The price just went up. The price just fucking went up in Las Vegas, yo. The tickets was already high. My guy, we just got Devontae Adams and Chandler Jones. The price tag just went up. I'm telling you, the only team that I feel like haven't made no upgrades in the AFC West is the Chiefs. That's strange. It feel like they losing more than they getting in the offseason. Now, granted, you got Pat Mahomes, you still got Travis Kelce, you still got Tyreek Hill. So, hey, good for that. But this defense ain't getting no better. Like, this could be dead ass. Yeah, I think I'm joking right now. The Chiefs could turn around and be in last place in this division. Because now they are not the only team in the division with a great quarterback now. Every team in this division got a quarterback, a franchise quarterback. Every team in this division have weapons now. Like before, it was just the Chargers with the weapons. It was the Broncos with the young weapons, no quarterback. The Raiders had, weapons coming in and out. Like Darren Waller always hurt. They trade away Amari Cooper. Hunter Renfrow is good, but he is not a number one receiver. Now they whole core look different because you add the best receiver in football in Devontae Adams. And you get that man the highest contract for a receiver in the history of football. Well deserved. I was talking about it the other day. The Packers do not deserve Devontae Adams if they're not going to pay him what the highest paid contract. Now, I read a report that said the Packers was willing to match the exact offer or contract that the Raiders offered. Devontae Adams just did not want to be a Packer anymore. To me, I know people going to be like, oh, well, he chose Derek Carr over Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, that might what it be, but that might be what it is. But ultimately, Aaron Rodgers is what, like 38 or something? Derek Carr is what, like 32, 33 or something? He probably took Derek Carr's youth, like Derek Carr probably got longer in the NFL in his mind at playing at a high level than Aaron Rodgers. Also, let's take Aaron Rodgers out of the equation. Devontae Adams had to be getting tired of being the only motherfucking weapon in Green Bay, aside from running backs. Had to be tired of seeing all those different type of ridiculous coverages and shit, because nobody else on his squad drew any type of defensive. No coverage on nobody else was complex or nothing. It was the basic of basic defenses being ran on everybody else. He had to get tired of that shit. Now he will be playing with two other dudes who can get open and get and catch the ball and win their one-on-ones. So the Raiders are about to be fucking scary. Derek Carr could be MVP candidate this year. He gonna be an MVP candidate this year, as a matter of fact. Now, if Devontae Adams went to the Raiders, obviously that means he is no longer with the motherfucking Packers. And that leaves me in confusion. Why? Do Aaron Rodgers know something that we don't know? My guy, it was no weapons on this team aside from Devontae. Now it's no weapons on this team at all. Like, bruh, And I'm big on Aaron Rodgers' job is not to worry about the cap and all this type of shit. But while he was having Pat McAfee eat his penis so hard on a regular basis, like I'm seeing Pat McAfee getting to, bitch about contracts and shit, and I love Pat. But him bitching about contracts and shit like this just because of Aaron, it feel like anytime Aaron Rodgers got a problem with anything, now Pat got a problem with that. Like, and I just feel like you can be cool with somebody and you can support somebody without having to dick ride them like that. I mean, Pat McAfee, it feel like on a daily basis is eating 3 ounces of Aaron Rodgers penises for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I just don't want to see Pat go out like that. Because I can see how what Pat doing right now could rub a lot of people that fuck with Pat the wrong way. Because at the end of the day, I keep telling, listen, I done defended Rodgers too. But then I even said it, like, he made a big deal about the contract. Like, I mean, the dudes who reported he was getting $50 million, period, they was kind of right at the end of the day. Like, it felt like they was bitching and complaining about shit that didn't even matter just to bitch and complain. When you sign that contract, though, do you not realize that, and obviously, like I said, not Aaron Rodgers' problem when it comes to the cap, and I firmly agree with that. And technically, what I'm finna say makes no sense when I read the report that they said the Packers could match it, that it just came down to Devontae not wanting to be there no more. But if you Aaron Rodgers, you didn't have this conversation with Devontae Adams beforehand, bruh? You had to know that Devontae was never coming back to this team if he could get to the Raiders. Like, you had to know that. If you did not know that Devontae was leaving this team regardless, if the Packers, if the Packers was willing to trade him and if the Raiders was willing to pay him, you had to know that he was never coming back. Like, you and him didn't have this conversation, because if you didn't, then maybe Devontae and you ain't as close as y'all motherfuckers thought. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's the thing. And you know what's crazy? I don't know Devontae Adams. I don't really see clips of Devontae Adams off the field and nothing like that. But just based off of seeing Aaron Rodgers throughout the season on the Pat McAfee show and shit like that over the last 2 years or whatnot, just off of some of the shit I done seen of Devontae, like, I'm pretty sure, yeah, he cool with Aaron Rodgers on the field. That's his quarterback. He understand who he playing with. That don't really seem like somebody who Devontae Adams would be chilling with off the field too much. You know what I'm saying? But, who knows? All I know is to go from Green Bay to Vegas, he got to love that. Playing in a dome now, so you ain't got to play in the fucking cold in Green Bay. Got to love that. Like, you don't go to, obviously the quarterback, Derek Carr, not better than Aaron Rodgers, but you don't go to a bad quarterback. You still going to a great quarterback, a franchise quarterback. Gotta love that. Far better weapons on this offense than in Green Bay. Gotta love that. And your defense just got upgraded with those two. See, listen. They might not have upgraded every single aspect of this defense yet. But just the mere fact that you already have a premium pass rusher in Max Crosby, and now you bring another premium pass rusher in Chandler Jones, that's going to fix a lot of problems. That's going to help dudes be able to cover who can't cover. When you get these dudes to get home on a quarterback quick, fast, efficiently, on a regular basis, that changes things for defenses, I'm telling you. So I think, man, some of the biggest signings in the offseason, in my opinion, so far, almost every single one that's done happened in the AFC West. Marcus Williams with the Ravens, that is a huge sign. And the Ravens signed Michael Pierce. So he coming back to the Ravens. Now, I'm not mad at the signing per se, because Michael Pierce is a good player. He a great run-stopping defensive tackle. My problem is, why do we keep signing run stoppers, bruh? Why do Baltimore think it's sweet to keep putting out a defensive line that legitimately only specialize? Not even only specialize. We keep putting out a defensive line that only stops the run. Like, they do not get pressure on the quarterback. They are piss poor pass rushers. I'm not understanding why Baltimore's defensive coordinator, why Harbaugh, why the upper man. I don't understand who is cool with continuously putting out a defensive line that only stops the run, where you need to send blitzes with the linebackers because nobody on the defensive line can bring pressure. That's why I'm not bitching if they don't bring back Calais Campbell, because he's not a pass rusher anymore. He's a great run stopper. But Baltimore packing a line with 3-4 run stopping defensive linemen, yo, that's dead. They have to bring in pass rushers. Mind you, I don't know why you break off any type of money to Pierce when Bobby Wagner is still out there to be signed. I don't understand that, to be honest with you. So the Michael Pierce one is confusing to me. I'm not going to lie. And I haven't really been jumping up and down about the Morgan Moses one. Obviously, I done said that. I like his press conference and whatnot. But I like that signing more than I like the Michael Pierce signing. Baltimore could have brought Brandon Williams back for cheap. And listen, like I said, I don't get in people's pocket. The contract wasn't nothing outrageous for Michael Pierce. I don't care about the contract. That's not what I'm focusing on at all. They could have paid him crazy money. They could have paid him basically nothing. I could care less about that. I don't think Baltimore need to continue to sign run-stopping pass defensive linemen. You need pass rushers. There is pass rushing defensive linemen out there. You do not have to keep signing fucking a line full of defensive linemen that fucking only stop the run, but put no pressure on the quarterback if they don't have help from the linebackers. That's ridiculous. To be honest with you, and I'm pretty sure this ain't the reason why Zadarius left. I'm pretty sure Zadarius reconsidered because of money. But it's really not a bad move by him leaving when you look at what they got on the defensive line, because defensive line can help your linebackers who pass rush so much by eating up linemen in different blocks and shit. Who the fuck do Baltimore got on the defensive line right now that would help Zadarius Smith? He would be overworked and eating up way too many blocks coming off the edge because the dudes in the middle don't eat up blocks and put no pressure on quarterbacks. So really, while I think it was a money move, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a scheme move ultimately too, because he can maximize his value and his potential elsewhere, to be honest with you. Unless this new defensive coordinator who we have come in and just change things up completely, I don't see what changes for Baltimore's front as far as the defensive line. Because to me, the defensive line puts no pressure on the quarterback. That's why they need to go sign Bobby Wagner. Because you can have a bad defensive line that don't put too much pressure on the quarterback, and Bobby Wagner can still be great. Even though he done played with a lot of great defensive lines that put pressure on quarterbacks, Bobby Wagner is a genius, bro. I'm telling you. He would get. That's why I really think they need to consider moving Patrick Queen to the outside because of how fast he is. Could you imagine Patrick Queen as a speed rusher coming off the outside? Shit'd be nuts. But yeah, wasn't really feeling the Michael Pierce signing too much. And I'm not hating on EDC. I'm not hating on him. I just don't really like that move, to be honest with you. And listen, they signed Bobby Wagner. I could care less about any other moves they make after that. But now that I'm thinking about this one, Julio Jones was released yesterday, and I said I wanted him in Baltimore because I could care less how people feel about Julio Jones. To me, if he is healthy, he is still a top receiver in the NFL. It's nothing nobody gonna say to get me to try to disrespect my mans like that. Y'all thought Odell was washed because y'all was some reason riding so hard for Baker. Y'all was eating a bowl full of Baker dicks every morning, trying to come out here and yell that old Baker washed. Now you got this bozo Skip yelling that Odell was bad, Jarvis was bad, Austin Hooper was bad. It's just so crazy how all these dudes was studs before Baker. It's so crazy. Hell, Jarvis Landry even was good with the motherfucker. So crazy. But Julio Jones, they saying Tom Brady recruiting him. Go to fucking Tampa. Julio, go to Tampa, my boy. Go to Tampa, big dog, and help Tom, and let Tom help you win a championship, bro. You was already supposed to have a ring and a Super Bowl MVP, and the Falcons fucking cost you. Bro, go to Tampa and get that ring, bro. Unless somebody offering big time bread, my boy. Because if somebody offering you big time bread, you already know. Go get that payday, my guy. Go get that payday, my guy. But if the money looking the same pretty much, like, don't let Tampa hold you, bro. Like, a ring ain't worth being hold. Unless some people think it is. But, hey, if they offering you a good little, something respectable, my boy, let's go get that chip. Because if Julio go to Tampa and can stay healthy, yeah, that's a chip. Now, I'll tell you what'll really be interesting. And what'll really be a dope-ass sneaky move. If Deshaun Watson signed with Atlanta, and Atlanta bring Julio back. Talk to me. Talk to me nice. What we talking about right now? You bring in... Because listen, if you haven't been paying attention, Deshaun Watson watches heating up. He can make a decision any day now. What we do know is he will not be going to the fucking Cleveland Browns, which I said that yesterday. Like, it made no sense to me that people legitimately believed he was going to Cleveland when those other 3 cities was options. Was never going to happen. I pretty much was saying how unrealistic, or that I really didn't see him going to Carolina yesterday, and I was seeing reports that Carolina is pretty much out of the running. And listen, one of the things that I didn't hammer home enough about, one of the other reasons I did not think Carolina was going to get him, aside from the fact I didn't think they could put together a strong enough, meaningful enough package to me that the Texans would view as like good for them, because Christian McCaffrey could get there and be more injury prone than he already is. DJ Moore is already average receiver in my opinion. He could get more average when he get to your team and not have a quarterback to play with. So, like, how big is those additions really to you when you trade Watson for those two? I think draft picks would be more important than both of those two players. Whereas when you look at the Saints, they could give you an impact player right now on either side of the ball, and they could possibly give you draft picks. I think the Saints could put together a better package. However, I think the Falcons could put together a great... And I was listening to somebody talk about not even just the package that the Falcons could put together. And obviously, Deshaun Watson grew up somewhere in Atlanta, I guess. He from Georgia, I guess, and he was a ball boy for the Falcons. So he already got a connection there. I'm hearing that Arthur Blank... Not I'm hearing personally, just the reports I done read is that Arthur Blank liked Deshaun Watson and all that. I would like to see Deshaun Watson in them threads. But the reason that I heard somebody talking about basically there was like the plan for Deshaun Watson going forward. Like, Atlanta's plan for him could be great. They could figure out this Matt Ryan shit with that contract. And it would probably just take 1 year off. They would be like, listen, we're going to have one bad year where we trying to regroup because of this money and shit. But after that, boom, we taking off, bro. We off to the races. If I'm Deshaun Watson, when I really think about that, and Atlanta is a great market, I probably would go to Atlanta if I was Deshaun Watson. Because I always wished that Cam Newton was drafted by the Falcons. In an alternate universe, Cam Newton playing for the Falcons would have been lit. Now you get fucking Deshaun Watson playing for the Falcons. I think that would be insane. I think he could end up with the Saints just because the Saints could put together a better team for him right now if they were able to keep those pieces. But man, I would like to see Deshaun Watson in Falcons threads. And from the reports I done read, it's coming down to the Falcons and the Saints. Like I said before, not really sure why the fucking 49ers and the Cardinals never got involved in this, but the fact that it's coming down to basically one of the NFC South teams, I think I predicted that it was the Saints before. I was just being logical, though. Now, I really do think he might end up with the Falcons. Like, I dead ass think he might end up with the Falcons. One of the things that I just thought about this. One of the things that I was saying, and then I guess I just forgot. One of the biggest problems I had with Carolina was Matt Rule. I do not know how you sign Deshaun Watson and have him be okay with Matt Rule. Like, how he can sit here and have confidence in Matt Rule. Like, I didn't understand how that all was going to go or play out, to be completely honest with you. But I'm glad. Like I said, I think Carolina Panther fans deserve a quarterback like Deshaun Watson. I truly believe that. I do not want him to see him in Carolina, though, because I'm not a fan of Matt Rule, not a fan of that owner. I do not think they deserve Deshaun Watson as far as them. The fans, yes. The organization, fuck no. But you want to know what's funny? I truly believe Deshaun Watson would be in Carolina right now if these bozos had fired Matt Rule over the offseason and hired Brian Flores. If they had hired Brian Flores, fired Matt Rule, and possibly not have had that bullshit that they pulled on Cam happen, Deshaun Watson might be a Carolina Panther right now. And obviously that's just my opinion. But it leads to this. These organizations never really have to be forced to think about how they treat players until they actually forced to see how they treat players. Carolina treated Cam Newton like shit. This is a dude. It don't matter what you think about Cam Newton. The fact of the matter is that's the greatest quarterback to ever play for Carolina. And it ain't just like the Baker Mayfield situation where you comparing trash cans to dumpster cans. No. Cam Newton is a MVP in this NFL, in this football league. He's gotten a team to a Super Bowl. He's been a perennial playoff quarterback. He was a perennial top quarterback and top player in the NFL. Cam Newton was the face of a franchise, not forced to be a face of a franchise like Baker Mayfield, like y'all try to do with him. He was the face of the franchise. He took on the leadership role and led that team for multiple years. Some would argue that he's the greatest Panther of all time, to be completely honest with you. Now, I'm not going to argue that. I'll leave that for the Carolina Panther fans to argue, even though I done seen a shit ton of Panther fans say that they favorite Panther all time is Steve Smith, but the greatest one is Cam Newton. I even have seen a lot of people say the greatest and their favorite one is Cam Newton. But listen, Cam, when you treat Cam the way you treated him, a dude who put his body on the line for this franchise for a decade plus, a dude who went to battle for this franchise every year, never complained. You never gave him a plethora of great weapons. You never replaced Kelvin Benjamin. You had that man go out there in the Super Bowl with Ted Ginn as his number one receiver. Because I understand Greg Olsen was a great tight end, but Greg Olsen is a great tight end, one of my favorite tight ends to watch. He is a Hall of Famer to me. Greg Olsen by himself, as good as Greg Olsen was more of a what's my man's name? A Jason Witten 2.0. He wasn't Gronk. He wasn't the man who was over there murdering motherfuckers in New England, who played for New England. He wasn't fucking Darren Waller. You know, he wasn't Kelsey. He wasn't that type of athletic, just game-breaking tight end. But he was a great weapon. Cam took that team. Mind you, that team didn't have Christian McCaffrey on it. Cam Newton did. He made Carolina relevant. He had Carolina battling with a lot of those tough Seahawks teams when they still was at the peak of their powers with the Legion of Boom. Like, the disrespect people throw Cam Newton's way is unbelievable to me. Like, people give Baker Mayfield credit that is unwarranted. Oh, he got us to our first playoff berth and won a playoff game for us. No, if you go back and watch that game, Baker had nothing to do with y'all winning that. The Steelers pretty much shot themselves in the ass in the first half of that game. For some reason, you don't give the defense any credit, which is weird. Myles Garrett done been one of the best defensive players in the league since he done touched down in the NFL. You give him no credit for doing that, being that great. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt form one of the scariest running back duos in the NFL. You seem to not give them any credit for that. Kevin Stefanski is one of the better offensive-minded head coaches in the NFL. He done already proven that. You don't give him credit for that. You think he regressed rather than Baker regressed. But you keep giving Baker's bad play credit. You keep excusing that by saying he was hurt. So make up your mind, please. You got an offensive line that was the best in football for 2 years. Now they starting to break that thing up, which is what goes to show you when you have talent like that and you don't have a guy who can maximize it. Sad sight. And it was no way you thought they was signing Deshaun Watson anyways when on the same day they was having a meeting, that same day they released Austin Hooper. There's no way. He coming there just to play with two great running backs and Amari Cooper? No shot. He was not about to try to recreate the fucking Packer experience in Cleveland. Wasn't happening. But let's hop back to Aaron Rodgers for a second, because man, if you Aaron Rodgers, what the fuck do you do? Because you're stuck in Green Bay for the next couple years, and now you have nothing. Like, you was mad they didn't go get you weapons before. My boy, you have absolutely nothing now. Now, maybe they can try to sign Jarvis Landry to a cheap contract, even though I think it's some offer. He could get more money elsewhere than Green Bay, but maybe they pony up and give him a decent contract. I really would like to see Jarvis Landry in Baltimore, to be honest with you. And maybe, it's some other, receivers out there that you could possibly go get. Obviously, none of them nowhere near what Devontae Adams is. But listen, Aaron Rodgers' contract, maybe it's fucking up the thing, but that has nothing to do with him. Green Bay need to figure it out. Like, straight up. It's going to be funny seeing what the Packers do this year. Because, listen, they'll probably still win this trash-ass division, I'm pretty sure. But now I expect Aaron Rodgers to throw more interceptions. Because now you can't play it safe. Now maybe they try to switch it to a run-heavy centric offense because you got two great running backs. But unless they swing a trade, and it's funny to me that Green Bay just refused. Like, what is Green Bay out here doing? Amari Cooper just got swung to the fucking Browns for a 5th-round pick. The Green Bay couldn't have made that same trade? Seeing as how Green Bay is not drafting good at the offensive position anyways. And this all just go to show you, they will never be able to get back that wasted first pick on Jordan Love. That could have been used for a receiver that was balling out right now, that was up and coming. Probably could have kept Devontae Adams there if he had another opposite receiver. But you use that on Jordan Love. If I'm Devontae Adams, I'm leaving this fucking franchise also. Got nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. My boy, y'all drafted a fucking... You think that only affected Aaron Rodgers? Motherfucker, I needed somebody opposite of me. Y'all went out and drafted a quarterback. Yeah. No shot. No shot. Green Bay, I'm telling you, these organizations, eventually have... And I saw somebody tweet on Twitter, like Green Bay was like, Aaron Rodgers, we're going to give you the most money in the NFL, and we're going to make your life fucking miserable. And then I saw somebody say, look at this dumbass Aaron Rodgers. Why he signed before the Packers signed Devontae? Now his ass ain't going nowhere. A lot of Aaron Rodgers, a lot of dudes who ain't fans of Aaron Rodgers letting it loose right now. But hey, this is what happens. It's gonna be strange seeing. I mean, like I said, you still got Detroit in that division, Chicago, and now that'll be the interesting one, because if Chicago and the Vikings can get it the fuck together, man, you might see a shift of power in the NFC. In the NFC East, I think it is, in that division, you might see a shift of power if Kirk Cousins can just be good enough. Because as good as Aaron Rodgers is, you fear none of the receivers on that team now. You do not walk onto the field when you play the Packers offense and say, none of these guys can beat us one-on-one. That changes the game plan completely. It has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. Now you saying Aaron Rodgers is going to have to make them tight throws all game. I can't wait to see what Ty Smith think about this tomorrow, the Pat McAfee show. Boy, that's going to be entertainment. It's crazy. Packer fans, they offseason went from euphoric to just straight hell. Straight hell. They got to be looking at this how I'm looking at this. On paper, the Packers offense looks atrocious. Even with Aaron Rodgers. And I done seen analysts already start saying, well, Brady done won with no-name receiver, so now it's time to prove that Aaron Rodgers can do it. I don't really agree with that, but I do think it's time for Aaron Rodgers to prove he can do it with somebody not named Devontae Adams. Now it's your job to get these other receivers along. Like how everybody say he upped everybody's game. Now we about to really see that. Because what I do know is Peyton Manning went to Denver and made all them dudes Pro Bowl players. None of them dudes was that great to me before Peyton got there. And when he left, now, God rest Demaryius Thomas. So, great receiver. Did not think he was a number one receiver before or after Peyton Manning. Really didn't think he was that while he had Peyton Manning. I just thought Peyton Manning, his ability to make dudes way play above their level is just ridiculous. Now it's time for Aaron Rodgers to do it. Now, you know how I said this was a 3-team race in the NFC? Yeah, no longer agree with that. The Packers are not one of the powers in the NFC in my opinion anymore. Lost a pass rusher, you lost the best receiver in the NFL. Yeah, no shot that I don't even know if the Packers win this division anymore because I think the Vikings are a better all-around team now. If Kirk Cousins cannot find a way to win this division with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, like what are we doing? Like what? No shot. Listen, and the Packers defense was great last year. They come back healthy, be great this year. They lost a piece or two, but they still brought back a lot of the studs on that team, so the defense could carry them. But if that offense can't score, yeah, it's gonna be tough. Now listen, maybe they try to swing and try to get Julio over there before he signed with Brady. Maybe they try to get maybe it's a trade out there for a receiver that's disgruntled or a receiver. What's wild is, God bless Amari. That man got traded to Cleveland. And within the 3 days he done been there, they lost Jarvis, Hooper, J.C. Treader, and multiple other dudes, yo. And I don't even know if Jadeveon Clowney coming back, which that would be a dumb move for Cleveland not to bring him back. And I'm seeing a lot of people get mad at Cleveland for trying to go after Deshaun Watson. Are you serious right now? Deshaun Watson is better than Baker Mayfield in every aspect. What are you talking about? Why? How can you be mad at them for trying to make the team better? Not to mention, Baker Mayfield, it was reported that he went to the team and requested a trade, and they said, yeah, no, we're not doing that. My mans went to Cleveland and was like, yo, trade me. They looked at that motherfucker up and down and was like, no, fuck out my office, bro. We've been trapped with your ass for the last 4 years. Now you trapped with us, you bitch. You ain't going nowhere, bruh. Trust me. We wanted to trade you. We wanted to. It wasn't nothing out there better for us. So now you going to have to wait till we can get better at the position. Then we'll send your ass off somewhere. Best believe you ain't getting no big contract, so you ain't even got to worry about that. And best believe we ain't finna be throwing no franchise tag on your ass to pay you damn near franchise quarterback money when you ain't that. See, Baker played his cards wrong. Baker Mayfield is not a good quarterback. Been saying that. He should have just signed the contract they was offering him. But listen, bet on yourself. Get your money. You know I'm all for that. But understand your talent also. You playing in a division with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. They just had to watch Joe Burrow go to the Super Bowl in his first full year of being healthy. You think they trying to attach themselves to Baker Mayfield for the next decade plus, knowing they're going to have to battle against Lamar Jackson, who threw 4 interceptions against them and still outplayed Baker Mayfield and won the game in Cleveland? Do you truly believe they think to themselves, oh yeah, the next 10 years, next decade, we good against going up against Burrow and Lamar, not even counting them other quarterbacks that's in the AFC but not in our division. We good going against them with Baker Mayfield at the helm the next 10 years. Yeah, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Baker Mayfield talking about he want to be traded. Trust me, bruh. I'm pretty sure they want to trade you. But they doing what's best for their franchise right now. And I respect Cleveland for that, because Cleveland woke up one morning and realized there's too much fucking talent on this team the last 3 years for us to not even sniff a Super Bowl yet. Patrick Mahomes went down in a playoff game that was very winnable for Baker Mayfield, and he couldn't do it. What more y'all want from Cleveland? Ain't this what fans supposed to want? Ain't y'all supposed to want them to keep trying to get better? Make it make sense to me, as they say. Because I would love to understand it, because I'm not right now. It's baffling to me right now. I'm not going to lie to you. But, hey. I hope Za'Darius get paid, man. I hope he find a home to get paid. Dead ass. Like, Baltimore Ravens fans, man, don't be salty at that man for getting paid. You do not stay in a situation when you can go make more money elsewhere. Do not be mad at that man for that. As a matter of fact, when you find out that you done been hold on a contract and realize you could have made more money elsewhere, you get pissed off at the person when you should have been mad at yourself for signing the fucking contract or agreeing to the shit. Don't be mad at that man for checking his work and checking it twice. They tell y'all to do that shit in school all the time. Hey, don't be mad at that man. Be happy for him. I'm trying to tell you. Listen, this channel, as it grows and when we blow it one day, that's going to be the big thing on here, bro. Yeah, I got to realize, you can't be hating athletes for this, man. Don't turn this shit into no, oh, it's his word. I don't even get mad at Greg. I don't even think there was nothing wrong with Randy Gregory changing his mind on Dallas for the simple reason he didn't like the words in the contract and the word and the shit in the contract. Hey, that's his decision. That was the decision he made that was best for him. You can't have no problem with that just because he ain't on your team and you think he would have made your team better. Now he not. Now you're going to talk shit about him like Skip Bayless, bitch ass. Come on, man. Grow up. Grow up. Watson's going to the Falcons. I'm calling it. He's going to end up in Atlanta. By tomorrow morning, he'll probably be in Atlanta. Or by at least by 12 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, he'll be with the Atlanta Falcons. I truly believe that. My man will be an Atlanta Falcon. That's going to be fire seeing him in them threads. They need to do something about them two-tone jerseys, though. Them shits is ugly. The ones with the red at the top and black at the bottom of the jersey. Yeah, them shits is ugly, bro. Like, grow up. Like, Atlanta got too easy a color scheme to put together fire-ass jerseys to be putting together some shit like that. Like, come on, man. And I get it. We try new things. We miss the mark sometimes. You know, Skate Man says get back up and try again. I'm all for it. Trust me, baby. I get it. But that one ain't it. Now, some people might be like, why would he go to, Atlanta? There's nothing there. Like I said, bro, just trust the process. Trust the process. For one, he do have Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is not going to be included in the trade. So it's just certain players that I know is not getting included in the trade. That's why, to me, it would be funny if he had ended up in Carolina, because that's not one of those situations where, like, the Saints are more than likely not offering up Michael Thomas or Kamara. The Falcons are not more than likely offering up Kyle Pitts. Who the fuck knows who Carolina offering up? And when you're willing to offer up anything, that means the value of those players are not really that high to begin with. Because 2, 3, 4 years ago, you're not offering Christian McCaffrey up for just anything. When he was drafted in, a year into the draft, after his first 2 seasons, you probably would have thought you wouldn't have traded DJ Moore. I'm a little bit different on that, but a lot of people probably thought his value was very high when he was first drafted. I don't think them dudes they trade, values that high pertaining to what they can bring to the Texans. Now, on a different team, possibly. I think the Packers should try to swing a trade for DJ Moore. The Packers going to have to figure something out. There's no way you bring Aaron Rodgers over on that type of deal and waste your own money by having nobody around him. Listen, I'm not mad at the Devontae Adams trade, especially if you tried to offer him the same thing and he just didn't want to be there. That's out of your control. And I'm all for it. If a dude don't want to be here, go ahead and get the best you can get for him and get him to where he want to be, or get him somewhere else. Because if he don't want to be on your team no more, then you wasting your time trying to convince him to be here when there's other dudes who will be here, who want to be here, who you could be having here growing and, getting better. So, listen, I don't know who they swing a trade for. Shit, I try to see if I can swing a trade for Amari. I don't know if you can trade for Amari Cooper off rip. And you could use those first round draft picks to really swing for the fences and bring over a top flight receiver. Or maybe you use him for a dude in the draft. I don't know. But you got Aaron Rodgers locked up for the next 3-4 years. No way you want him over here paying him that type of money to throw it to nobody, basically. And no way that they got balls big enough to think that they finna walk into this division with nobody at receiver, basically, and about to win it again. No shot they think that's going to happen unless they just think that these dudes in their division is absolute dumpsters. Now, if they walking in with them type of cojones, then, hey, excuse me. But I don't know, man. And I'm going to tell you right now, the AFC West is about to be pure fucking theater every week. I'm not going to miss none of them teams play against each other. Or none of them teams play. You know what's crazy? I think all of those teams is good enough to have double-digit win seasons. And I would love to see a team with a division with 4 double-digit win seasons. But off of just thinking about it and looking at it in my head, the Chiefs really got a shot to miss the playoffs this year. As great as Patrick Mahomes is, man, I just think the talent on these other two teams, especially when I'm pertaining to the Chargers and the Raiders. The Chargers and the Raiders got better than any team in the offseason this year, in my opinion. Depending on some of the moves Baltimore make the rest of the way, that could get them up there with them. Because if Baltimore signed Bobby Wagner along with Mitt Williams, yeah, Baltimore done had one of the better off seasons also. But the Raiders signing Chandler Jones to go with Max Crosby and Devontae Adams, the best receiver in the NFL, that is game changing. And then the fucking matter of fact, I would even put the Bills up there too, because I think Von Miller is a game changer for them. Now I'm gonna hope. Matter of fact, no, I wouldn't put that one. Almost could get up there. It depends. I don't know yet, because if he just a lone pass rush over there, it'll still be tough. They'll still have to end up getting another pass rusher there. But the Khalil Mack one, you matching him up with Joey Bosa, like, and they already got studs littered on the offense. These are game-changing moves. Like, these teams get the lead, they can unleash hell with these man. If the Chargers and the Raiders aren't double-digit win teams this year, I'll be fucking shocked. I would be fucking shocked. Like, I think the moves that they done made has been insane. Like I said, if the Ravens get Bobby Wagner, possibly get a receiver, a vet receiver, to go along with the Marcus Williams, Morgan Moses, then yeah, the Ravens will be up there with one of the better off seasons. But right now, the fucking Chargers and the Raiders is destroying the offseason. The Raiders said, yeah, we done with this, getting our asses spanked by the Chiefs. They said, we done with that. We know what it's going to take now. These teams saw the Chiefs laboring last year. They said, nah, we got the recipe now. It's not happening again. They said, we done with this bullshit. They said, we tired of having this motherfucker's brother and wife clown us every fucking week, celebrating in our stadiums and shit, acting a fucking nut. They said, nah, we done with that, bro. Initiate plan B, plan A, whatever you want to call it. We done with this. It's time to get loose. I respect it, man. I respect it. This about to be, yo, man, can you imagine the fucking viewers that are about to be on the AFC West this year? Man, I would be shocked if a team don't come out of that to the Super Bowl. Depending on, again, how Lamar Jackson come back healthy, I have no doubt Lamar will be an MVP, player again this year. It's about what they can put around him on offense, because I still don't like the receiving core in Baltimore, to be honest with you. And I'm still not sold on our linebacking core or the defensive line. We don't have one pass rusher that's on the level of a Khalil Mack, Chandler Jones, Max Crosby, Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa got to stay healthy this year now. Man, this shit's about to be wild. But with that, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint, man. Tell somebody you fuck with him, man. Tell somebody you love him, man. Have a dope fucking day. Saint out.
I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.